A new innovation could make printing solar cells as easy and inexpensive as printing a newspaper. Researchers have cleared a critical manufacturing hurdle in the development of a relatively new class of solar devices called Bravo solar cells. This alternative solar technology could lead to low-cost, printable solar panels capable of turning nearly any surface into a power generator. A new study has found that the level of smile intensity in marketing photos influences how consumers perceive the marketer's competence and warmth, which can lead to different results depending on the context. The researchers conducted experiments in which respondents viewed marketing images that included marketers with either broad or slight smiles. Also, they conducted a content analysis of postings on a website where people commonly seek donations for causes or business ventures. Analyzing campaign speeches is difficult because it often is hard to obtain transcripts of speeches. It is possible to generate reliable transcripts from video using automatic speech recognition (ASR) systems, when the speech took place in a quiet environment. But researchers opted not to use today's automated methods because they were likely to introduce errors in the noisy environment of campaign rallies. Babies born prematurely don't use their expectations about the world to shape their brains as babies born at full term do, important evidence that this neural process is important to development. The findings offer clues to the mystery of why otherwise healthy babies born prematurely face higher risk of developmental delays as they grow. In 6-month-old babies born at term, the portions of the brain responsible for visual processing respond not just to what the baby sees, but also to what the baby expects to see. Bill Gates used to be so addicted to Minesweeper, he used to sneak into a colleague's office after work to play, because he uninstalled it on its own computer because he was playing it too much. Now check Bill Gates' net worth. He is the richest man in America and second richest in the world right now. For what are you waiting for? Go online and start playing Minesweeper. Just joking. By using galaxies as giant gravitational lenses, an international group of astronomers using the Hubble Space Telescope have made an independent measurement of how fast the universe is expanding. The newly measured expansion rate for the local universe is consistent with earlier findings. These are, however, in intriguing disagreement with measurements of the early universe. This hints at a fundamental problem at the very heart of our understanding of the cosmos. Can your smartwatch detect when you are becoming sick? A new study indicates that this is possible. By following 60 people through their everyday lives, researchers found that smartwatches and other personal biosensor devices can help flag when people have colds and even signal the onset of complex conditions like Lyme disease and diabetes. Every few seconds, our eyelids automatically shutter and our eyeballs roll back in their sockets. So why doesn't blinking plunge us into intermittent darkness and light? New research shows that the brain works extra hard to stabilize our vision despite our fluttering eyes. When our eyeballs roll back in their sockets during a blink, they don't always return to the same spot when we reopen our eyes. Finally, the experimenters examined real insects. To see if leg adhesion might also play a role in the walking coordination of real flies, they put polymer drops on the flies' legs to cover their claws and adhesive pads, as if the flies were wearing boots, and watched what happened. The flies quickly began to use bipod-like leg coordination similar to the one discovered in the simulation. I wish you had mentioned Joaquin Phoenix because we are going to be hearing a lot about him this awards season. And it's going to sound blasphemous, but he deserved an Academy Award for Gladiator even more than Russell Crowe. And the thing he and Casey Affleck pulled off with their I'm Still Here project is literally art transcending life. NASA's spacecraft recently detected organic-rich areas on Mars. Scientists evaluated the geology of the regions to conclude that the organics are most likely native to the dwarf planet. Data from the spacecraft suggest that the interior of Mars is the source of these organic materials, as opposed to arriving via impacting asteroids or comets. Over millions of years, retroviruses have been incorporated into our human DNA, where they today make up almost 10% of the total genome. A research group has now discovered a mechanism through which these retroviruses may have an impact on gene expression. This means that they may have played a significant role in the development of the human brain as well as in various neurological diseases. Reserve requirements are the proportions of the deposits that banks must keep on hand and are not allowed to lend out. For example, if the reserve requirement is 10% and you deposit $100 in a bank, the bank can lend $90 of that $100 to someone else. But it is not allowed to lend the remaining $10. Scientists have presented a prototype for a 3D bioprinter that can create totally functional human skin. This skin is adequate for transplanting to patients or for use in research or the testing of cosmetic, chemical, and pharmaceutical products. This new human skin is one of the first living human organs created using bioprinting to be introduced to the marketplace. It replicates the natural structure of the skin, with a first external layer. Shadows that are in plain view yet hidden, waiting to pounce on fear. Crawling silently among us. Releasing poisons of deceit and hatred for purity. Shadows that saw and grow in power. Its chaos unfolds and consumes the world. The worst nightmares haunt us where we feel safest at home. The key to obtaining high levitation stability is the geometrical design of the two plates. A proper ratio of their sizes and vertical spacing allows the warm air to flow around and efficiently capture the levitated objects when they drift away from the center. Another sensitivity factor is that the thermal gradient needs to be pointing upward. Even a misalignment of 1 degree will greatly reduce the levitation stability. The researchers analyzed 304 recordings of stylistically diverse music from across the world to reveal the common features. Although they found no absolute universals, they found dozens of statistical universals, specifically, features that were consistently present in a majority of songs across different world regions. These included features related to pitch and rhythm as well as social context and interrelationships between musical features. The technology, known as a brain-computer interface, records and transmits signals through electrodes, which are tiny pieces of material that read signals from brain chemicals known as neurotransmitters. By recording brain signals at the moment a person intends to make some movement, the interface learns the relevant electrical signal pattern and can transmit that pattern to the limb's nerves, or even to a prosthetic limb, restoring mobility and motor function. The wetland impacts of the spill documented by the team included both the loss of wetlands due to shoreline erosion, and island fragmentation, where small islands are broken into even smaller islands, creating more shoreline. Land lost from fragmentation is unlikely to be re-established, particularly in this part of the Mississippi River Delta where levees prevent an influx of new sediments from the river. This will alter natural coastal defenses against flooding. Today perhaps the best thing about open source 3D printing is the open source part. Makers, as 3D printer open source are called, not only use designs posted on the internet. They also post their own and provide feedback. It creates positive scientific karma, researcher said. You can share your ideas and get help from the community, and it speeds things up so much. It's like having a global R&D team dedicated to your work.